Finding a watch you can wear every single day presents a specific challenge. You are trying to take 5 figures of delicate mechanical pedigree and force it to survive the friction of your actual daily routine. Watch brands love to sell us on extreme durability. They show us deep-sea exploration, saturation diving, and surviving the harshest environments on Earth. Meanwhile, most of us are just trying to survive our morning commute and back-to-back meetings. We frequently buy into these romanticized extreme fantasies, but then we end up with a watch that doesn't actually fit the physical constraints or the dress code of our daily lives. There is a physical limit to watchmaking. Maximum utilitarian durability requires thick cases and heavy shielding, while maximum formal elegance requires a slim, delicate profile. You cannot engineer both into the exact same watch case. Buying an everyday luxury watch isn't about finding a flawless, do-it-all unicorn. It is about deciding which specific set of compromises you are willing to strap to your wrist. To make the right choice, we need to map your specific daily environment to a corresponding philosophy of watchmaking. The first pathway is the clinical or technical environment. This is for professionals navigating physical hazards, strong magnetic fields, and utilitarian workwear like scrubs or lab coats. The second pathway is the jet-setting executive environment. Here, the primary friction points are frequent time zone changes, long hours in airports, and the requirement to wear tailored suits. The third pathway is the purist environment. This is a business casual setting where the wearer prefers under-the-radar craftsmanship and quiet details over broad brand flexing. This diagram shows how your lifestyle dictates your options. Committing to one of these 3 environments physically locks you into a very specific set of mechanical features and case proportions. Applying this framework keeps you from making a $10,000 mistake, because a heavy tool watch that shreds your shirt cuffs is just going to end up permanently left in a drawer. Let's start with the Swiss utility path. Omega's master chronometer standard is the ultimate example of over-engineering a watch for daily survival. Omega engineers their movements and tests them to withstand 15,000 Gauss of magnetic resistance. For clinical professionals, that means absolute immunity to the magnetic fields generated by laptops, medical equipment, and even the direct output of an MRI machine. But that extreme magnetic resistance requires thick internal shielding. That forces a bulkier case profile that will inevitably patch on a tailored shirt cuff. Another piece of heavy utility is the Worldtimer complication, engineered specifically for global awareness. By aligning a 24-hour interior ring with a corresponding city disk on the outer edge, the wearer can visually track the exact time across all 24 global time zones simultaneously at a single glance. That sheer amount of data creates a highly cluttered, busy dial. It is a striking piece of equipment, but it is nearly impossible to dress up for a formal gala. The utility path guarantees your watch will survive the hazards of your environment. You just have to accept that you are sacrificing the elegant, slim proportions required for high-end formal wear. The heritage path takes a completely different approach. The Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso is a prime example of packaging highly versatile complications into a strict dress profile. The Reverso case was originally requested in 1931 by officers in India playing aggressive polo matches. They needed a watch they could physically flip over on the wrist to protect the fragile glass crystal from getting shattered by a mallet.
Today, JLC uses that flipping architecture for their duo face models, housing a single movement that drives hands on both sides of the watch. For the jet-setting executive, this provides 2 entirely different dials in one watch. You can keep your home time on one side and use a hidden trigger to seamlessly jump the hour hand on the other side to track a second time zone while traveling. But there is a structural cost. A complex case built with moving tracks, triggers, and hinges inherently lowers the watch's overall water and dust resistance compared to a fixed, solid sports case. You can also opt for a full calendar complication, giving you the day, the date, the month, and a moon phase display. This condenses complex, romanticized astronomical data onto a highly formal wrist package that easily slides under a tuxedo cuff. The drawback to a full calendar is that if the power reserve dies, manually clicking through to reset all of those intricate astronomical functions is a highly tedious chore. The heritage path offers unmatched mechanical versatility and true boardroom elegance. It just demands careful wear and regular manual maintenance from the owner. The innovation path looks towards Japanese watchmaking.
Grand Seiko focuses intensely on microengineering and artisanal detailing rather than traditional Swiss templates. Their defining mechanical input is the spring drive. It uses a traditional mainspring for power but regulates the timekeeping with an electromagnetic glide wheel that spins in only one direction. By eliminating the friction of a traditional back-and-forth escapement, this hybrid technology achieves quartz-level accuracy of 15 seconds a month, alongside a perfectly smooth, continuous sweep of the seconds hand. Traditionalists, however, often reject the spring drive. Because it relies on the quartz oscillator rather than a purely mechanical spring-powered escapement, it divides the purist community. The second pillar of this path is intense craftsmanship, inspired by nature. They go as far as designing the manual winding clicker mechanism to sound and look exactly like the pecking of a local Japanese wagtail bird. This level of obscure detail delivers true stealth wealth. It offers artistic value and intense personal enjoyment that is only truly visible to the wearer winding it. The trade-off is visibility. It severely lacks the immediate, broad brand recognition and status signaling that comes from wearing its Swiss counterparts. The innovation path offers the highest return on investment for personal, detail-obsessed craftsmanship, provided you do not care about mainstream boardroom pressing. We have looked at 3 distinct ways to build an everyday watch. Now we have to map them against your reality. This matrix plots the choices based on formality on the vertical axis and durability on the horizontal. Up here in the casual and robust corner is the Swiss utility archetype. If your environment involves scrubs, magnetic interference, and physical hazards, you have to sacrifice ultimate slimness to get guaranteed armor. Down in the formal and delicate corner sits the heritage archetype. If your daily friction comes from crossing time zones and attending galas, you must sacrifice ultimate durability for elegant, flippable versatility. And right in the center sits the innovation archetype. If your priority is microengineering and personal enjoyment over brand recognition, you want this middle ground of stealth wealth craftsmanship. The perfect everyday watch does not exist in a vacuum. It only exists when its specific engineering compromises perfectly align with the reality of your daily life.